Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're live on Facebook. Let me open this on my phone. There we go. Okay, so we're live and we're just going to wait for a few people to join. I'm going to wait for people to come in before we start. We're missing one of our guests right now because there was a little bit of a misunderstanding, but it's okay. Sandip is going to join us very, very soon, hopefully. And it's good because we can wait for people to keep joining, and there's people joining already. Just to let you know, I'm just going to be looking at my phone because I'm going to get all the questions and everything here. But that's that. We have with us today the wonderful Vidha Lal, Anurekha Ghosh, and Sandip Malick. It's a dance special episode, and we're going to speak a lot about Kathak and Indian classical dance and raise some issues and just have an open conversation like all other Kathak Rap episodes. I'm really looking forward to this one because obviously I'm a Kathak dancer myself, and so this subject is very close to my heart. Again, I'm just waiting for Sandip to get into this conversation as soon as possible. Why does his name keep coming up as... we're just waiting for Sandip Malick to join us. I think he's just joined us now, so we should be there all together. But before we start speaking about these issues and the topics that we want to speak about, can you see us? I don't know. Anyway, before we get into this, I want to ask all of you, what is your goal with your dance? What do you hope to achieve with your dance? What is that one thing that you want to achieve with your dance and through the expression of dance? So if Vidha Didi, you want to go first, maybe.
First of all, thank you, Saberi, for having me on this chat show, and namaskar to Anurekha ji and Sandip ji and the audience watching us there. My goal is, are so many goals. Of course, I want to see Kathak at that level. I want to make Kathak, or maybe with the help of others, I want to see Kathak at that level where we don't have to actually do those lecture demonstrations and, those talk shows where we just go and tell people that there are 8 Indian classical dance forms and Kathak is the dance form from Northern India. Kathak is different from Kathakali. So, I just want that one day Kathak or the art forms, these classical art forms, reach that level that everybody knows about them. So that is one of my goals, and I hope I can work on that. So this is one of the goals.
That's wonderful.
And, yeah.
That's such a massive goal to be able, that's a really massive goal. And I think as a whole Kathak community, we should be working towards that, actually. That's a wonderful thing. What about Anurekha Di? Before I go to Anurekha Di, I think, Sandip, I can't hear you. I don't think, can you both hear him? I can't hear any.
Sorry?
Yes, we can hear you. Sorry.
We can hear you, yes.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Anurekha Di, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Saberi. It's wonderful to be in this talk show. And of course, as you said, that Kathak is very close to all of us. So, we are talking about Kathak and greetings to Vidha, Sandip. One of the goals that I always it's not a goal, but it's a dream, or it's perhaps an ambition, is to see Kathak in the mainstream. So Kathak becomes a global its place everywhere. So that's definitely, I would like to see Kathak on that platform, where we see ballet, where we see contemporary dance. I would definitely like to see Kathak on those platforms.
Right.
That is like a global kind of goal, but on a personal level, what I would desire is to elevate my Kathak so that I become a complete dancer.
Okay, that's a wonderful thing. And we'll come to what you all think is a complete dancer. We'll come to that topic. So it's great that you've raised that. Sandip, would you like to tell us what your dreams are with Kathak and what you want to achieve through your dance?
First of all, I would like to thank all of you, and not only all of you, to all the viewers like were watching today's show, and definitely as a Kathak dancer, we are trying our level best to reach to each and every corner. And as like for my concern, I am really interested not only to perform but also to like create the interest among the next generation, and that I am doing. I think I am, with the blessings of my guru and all, I am trying to do that, and my students are working, and it's a blessing for me. Like many of my students at today's moment, they have taken Kathak as their career. Maybe more than 20-25 dancers who are my students, and they have taken as their career. And not only that, they have stuck into the, most of them are into the pure form of Kathak, that not without blending with other fusion or something like that. So I think in that way I am happy, and definitely I want to go into the deep of this subject. It's a vast, and still we are trying, and hope we are, and ultimately we need to enjoy our life through our living, no? So that's my
Right. Okay, wonderful. Well, this is just so that people get to know a little bit about you. I don't want to go into reading things about you and your dance careers, because if people want to do that, and I keep telling my viewers this, if you want to do that, please go and follow these wonderful artists on Instagram, on Facebook. You can ask them, get in touch with them, get to know them, go and watch their YouTube videos, watch their dance. This show is so that you get to know your artist's opinions, because artists having opinions is a very important thing, according to me.
Absolutely.
So let's kind of kick into the show. Let's cut the crap, as I say. The first thing I want to ask you is what Anurekha Di pointed out when she was saying what she wants to achieve. What are the qualities? Let's speak specifically Kathak, because we're all Kathak dancers here. But what do you think a Kathak dancer needs to have to become a complete dancer? To become a complete Kathak dancer, what are those? And I know that there's a lot of things. Of course, we can't answer all the questions here. No, we can't pinpoint everything. But through your journeys of Kathak, what are the things that you have realized is very important to possess as a Kathak dancer? And we can start the other way around. So we'll start with Shondipta this time.
Being a Kathak dancer, I personally believe most important thing is to have a sound talim from the guru, and your own riyaz and patience, and then wait for the time when it will come. Definitely you can show what you are, and that's my.
Okay, that's what you think is the quality that a Kathak dancer should possess, which is good talim.
Because see, definitely to become a Kathak dancer, not only a Kathak dancer, any artist, we have to have the aesthetic sense, the sense of music, rhythm, everything. But on
Right.
top of that, that is common, because definitely without that we can't enter in this field.
Right, of course.
But at the same time, the other things that I personally believe, like believe on your guru, and your dedication, your riyaz, and patience.
Wonderful. Yeah. What about you, Anurekha Di?
The more I'm delving into Kathak, the more I'm realizing that the talim or the training of Kathak, it has got like two parts of it within a lifetime. The first aspect of it, or the first part of it, is when you really acquire the technique, the virtuosity, and you become a dancer. So your
Right.
guru chisel you as a dancer. The second part of it, where you are exploring your qualities as a dancer. So you're the one who is kind of identifying that what your guru have already given it to you. How do you identify that with yourself and connect it with yourself? So that's
Right.
the second part of the training. And in terms of the talim, what I realized, through my journey is that a Kathak dancer is not only a dancer, she or he is a musician by his or own accord as well. So as much as the rhythmic talim is required, similarly, the vocal or understanding the music aspect of it, that is both classical as well as semi-classical, is required. In terms of the language, for example, if you are working with ghazal, Urdu is extremely important. Understanding of Hindi is extremely important. Otherwise, unless you go deeper into the literature, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So, it's a very vast kind of area that you have to deal with. And that happens once you gain maturity.
That's a very important point that you've just made, that it's not just about the movements or just the dance. It's everything that is related to that dance form, which is important to gather the information and the experience of. That's wonderful.
I mean, when we are doing kavit, unless you really go deeper into the mythical part of it, you would not understand and you would not be able to represent it in the right manner.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Vidha Didi?
Because Abhinay Dapan has already explained that how the 10 qualities the dancer should have. So I would not go, because if you claim to be a dancer, you ought to have those qualities. So I will not, of course, talk about those qualities, because these qualities you need to have, then only you can just say that, of course, I'm a dancer. Right. I would like to add that a dancer, like a Kathak dancer in today's time, needs to be a very good entrepreneur, needs to know how to market their art form, and needs to know how to, because these are the things nobody will teach you.
Right.
This is not the time that people will see, oh, you're so good, and they'll give you a performance. No, it is not like that. You need to know how to market yourself. You need to know whom to contact, when to contact, how to get the shows. And yeah, this is what is required in today's time. And if you have all those, you're a complete dancer.
Yeah,
successful dancer.
I think all three of you have brought up really important points that we can discuss on in detail now. But the one thing I want to discuss first of all is, one thing that I'm going to speak from my experience of my generation, and the very young dancers. I have noticed, or I have seen, and I'm saying this only from my own experience of whatever I've seen, that there's a big lack of knowledge of other art forms when it comes to Kathak dancers. And actually, that's not even just limited to my generation. I'm talking about all Kathak dancers across the board. Just generally as a Kathak community, maybe there are individuals who do know about tabla and do know about vocal, but I'm talking as a community, we don't go to shows. We don't go to music shows. There are very few Kathak dancers who, willingly go to an Indian classical music show where there's a sitar happening or a Hindustani vocal happening, or, a tabla lehra happening. Very few Kathak dancers are seen. And I think, obviously, because I was born in Kolkata, so whenever I go to India, I go to Kolkata more. Whenever I go to an event, I always either see Anurekha Di or I see Sandip Da. And I don't really see other dancers as much in those events.
I would like to mention that I don't live in Kolkata, so those who don't know, that's
what Vidha Didi doesn't live in Kolkata. Vidha Didi doesn't live in Kolkata, but I'm saying for those who live in Kolkata, I don't see a lot of other dancers there. I just want to know, why do you think this is? Why is there such less interest in Kathak dancers to go and watch music? I will start with Anurekha Di this time.
My personal opinion is that somehow the dancer's mind, they have a very narrow thinking, and they are concentrating on their dance training. They are perhaps concentrating into their performances, into whom to connect with, organizers. When they go out to dance festivals or to dance concerts, obviously it's a place where they can network. But, unless they are going out to music concerts, they are not realizing that there's a big part of it that is going to be missing in their dance form. And especially if they are going to perform live concerts with musicians, unless, they have like set 3 musicians who will always perform with them. And they are going to do like a 10, 15 minutes or maximum 20 minutes Kathak live show. That's perhaps fine. But if they're going to go for a 1 hour long performance, and they don't have the knowledge, they'll be thrown out of the concert and nobody's going to watch them, and they will not have the
Right.
capacity
Right.
to dance for 1 hour, because it's not easy. We know that. So I guess it's again a training that they should receive from their teachers as well.
And
That
their
they
gurus,
must go to the concert, they must go to different musicians, connect with them, and even though if they don't understand, because I hear young people saying like, we don't understand khayal. Yes, when I started watching a Khayal concert, listening to a Khayal concert, I didn't understand. But slowly and gradually, the whole concept of Khayal uh, is getting into my body, into my mind, and I'm
Right.
enjoying every moment of it.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a
Right.
slow process, but they have to do it.
Right, right. I mean, I just want to say before we move on to Vidha Didi, I would just like to mention one thing, which is that I have really I don't know, I've seen this a lot. There's a lot of dancers who just will not, they will just not go. It's not about, and I think what you said, Anurekha Di, about the gurus telling you, I think this is a really
That is
important
the very
point,
exactly.
because how are we meant to know if we are not guided into doing something?
Absolutely.
If
Absolutely.
and of course, I think I'm privileged because I have been brought up in a musical family, so I always have people telling me, go and watch this, go listen to this, or do this. I've had that since I was a child. But there's so many people who don't have that, right?
Yeah.
They don't have that guidance, and so the only person they rely on is the guru to open their horizons and to
Yeah.
tell them that please go and watch this, because this will, at the end of the day, it's going to help your dance, or it's going to
Yes.
help the kind of person you shape into being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I
Absolutely.
think that for all those dancers who are watching today, and there's a lot of people watching at the moment, all those dancers who are watching today, please try and go to as many events as possible, because
And also, sorry
yeah,
to cut you
no,
short.
please, please,
Also,
please do.
because when they go to see a performance, the first thing that is in their mind is negative, that, oh, we are going to see what is going to happen. Just
Mm,
go and appreciate.
mm,
Because we all know that how difficult it is
Yes.
to be a dancer or a musician full time.
mm,
No artist wants their program to be bad. They don't prepare for that. If some
mm,
glitches happen, please don't make fun of that. Just go and support them, because we need to be united at this time. I don't go and find glitches or anything negative in any of the concert, because even if I see some little glitch, I start praying to God, please God, make things happen, make the show go really in
Smooth.
a flawless, please,
smoothly,
please,
yeah.
please. I get scared, because this
Mm,
is something, if this will happen to me, what I'm going to go through. So
yeah.
I always go with the very positive energy. I try to throw that energy to that person who's performing, you
Mm.
know. So this is what I would like to say, especially to this younger generation, because they go, they see for 5 minutes, and they go to the canteen and they just start talking.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really important, I
Have
mean,
those
that happens.
samosas and chai.
And I'll
Then
also add, Saberi,
Yeah,
that,
yeah, sure.
whether it's a musician, it's a dancer, it's a vocalist, they're all
Mm,
performers. So,
mm,
when you are on the stage, you are a performer.
mm,
So you need to watch other performer and acquire the good qualities from them.
mm,
If the whole
absolutely.
audience is bursting into claps for a sitar concert, there must be something. So
mm.
you have to catch that something quality of that performer and imbibe those qualities as well.
Right, that's very
Definitely.
important. What about you, Shondip? Sorry if
Yeah,
we've
sorry.
gone too.
I'm really bad regarding handling all the technical stuff.
That's okay,
Anyway,
that's okay.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm completely agree with all of you, and definitely it's needed for any artist to watch others' performance.
Mm,
And unfortunately, we go to watch other performance. Not only that, even where we are performing, we just pack up and go back without
True.
watching on that day. That
right,
is
on the same
real.
day, yeah.
On the same day,
Mm,
just after performance, even though we have time, maybe my performance will be at 6 o'clock, and then the whole concert will go till 10, but we never, sometime, I
But
know that.
Sandeep, see, please listen to me. Kathak dancers have always given, they're the last to perform. What
Huh.
we should wait and watch for? People those who perform before us, they just go.
No,
Even
Vidhaji,
if
no,
it is a concert with the musicians, I mean, if
no,
I'm
yeah,
most of the time given the last slot, and by then everybody's gone.
no, but what I am trying to pointing
Good
out, like,
point.
you see,
Mm.
no, but that is so different. But first of all, you should love your own art form.
Mm.
Like, even though, like, if the Kathak dancer or any dancers are performing in a dance concert, huh,
Mm.
even
No,
in a Kathak,
that's absolutely right. Yes, yes.
Kathak performance, like, sometime, like, they just finish their performance and then they go out.
I think you're both talking about like two different things, and both are very valid. So I'm
I
gonna,
agree with you.
because it's a discussion, I want to also address something. What
Yeah.
Shondeep is saying is like 100% true, because this happens all
Absolutely,
the time.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
the
Yes.
And
last conversation,
definitely, yeah, and definitely
yeah,
we
please.
need
Yeah.
to watch other performance. Without that, we are nowhere as an artist. Like, Geetam Madhyam Tatha Nityam Tram Sangeetam Uchyate. So
Mm.
this is
Exactly.
to become the practitioner of music. We should watch all, like, a dance, vocal instrument,
Mm.
everything, until
Yeah.
and
And
unless.
also other dance forms as well,
Yes,
Saberi. You
Absolutely,
know,
yes.
absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean,
And why I was
unless you
talking,
can appreciate the other eight, the seven
yes,
classical dance forms,
yeah,
you're not a complete dancer. You don't
mm,
have that knowledge to appreciate other art
I
forms.
But
Other
actually,
I've still seen Kathak dancers going for other performance, other classical dance performances. But other classical dance form, they just don't want to see Kathak. I have
see,
seen
yeah,
people
see,
yeah,
walking
that's
so
also a
out
that
from
that
point.
the auditorium as
that
soon as Kathak starts. I
ah,
Sorry,
would
if I
like to
yeah,
can just,
mention one of the
yeah, sorry,
instances that
please.
somewhere I just shared my picture with the Padmanabha pose, and
Mm.
somebody wrote back to me, "Oh, you also have Padmanabha pose in Kathak." Matlab, what is it?
no,
Mm.
I
yeah,
don't know what
that's
to
why.
answer. Matlab, look at the ignorance. Ignorance is a
Mm.
bliss, but not here. I mean,
yeah.
if
Yeah,
they claim to be a dancer, they must know, they must respect the other dance forms as well.
definitely, and
Oh,
that's like,
we've got a very interesting question. Sorry, I have to address this. As we speak, I'll address some questions as well in the comment
Sure,
section.
sure, sure.
Dilip Misra ji has asked, my first question to all of you, my first question to all of you, did you ever watch any other performance after your performance in the same concert?
yes, I
Yes,
do,
Yes,
I
we
definitely,
do,
did.
yes,
Definitely
and
we did. We
not only
always
definitely,
do.
I know, see,
I
not
have.
definitely.
only I do, I force, because I can only force, or I can give order to my own students.
Yeah.
I even ask them to wait till the end,
Mm.
And
all my group
Saberi,
members.
please tell him that even if I
You can tell
perform
him he's
10
watching. He's
performance,
watching.
if I perform 10 performances in my lifetime till now, out of that, 9 performances were the last performance of mine of that particular show. So I had to from the wings. There was no other way. I
And
have seen everybody perform.
if I may speak from my experience, I am not gonna lie. There have been situations where I've performed and maybe I've had to go somewhere, or but I've always made sure that I've told the person, or I've made
Yes,
sure
Yeah,
exactly.
to explain why I'm leaving. I don't just leave without any explanation. But
yeah.
most of the time, yes, I have stayed. I have not only stayed for other fellow dance performances, I have stayed
Everything
for
till the
music
end,
performances, for anything
till the
till the
end,
end, or
Exactly.
till the end.
till at least whenever I could. I have never just left after my own performance.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
That is one thing.
There
I
can
will
be
not
other
say,
emergencies,
yeah,
yeah,
of
I
course.
will
There's
never
nothing
say,
deliberate.
because we're cutting the crap here. I'm not gonna say that every time I've gone to a concert I've watched
Yeah.
every single one. That would be just straight up lying, and I don't want to lie. There have been situations where I have had to leave for other reasons, but mostly I have never left a concert only doing my concert and just leaving. That has, I think, as far as I remember, that has not happened. And I think this is what we're talking about, is the unity and the respect towards each other. If I am performing somewhere and Vidha Didi and Anurekha Didi and Shondeep Da are performing in the same festival, we would all like to stay for each other's concerts and
definitely,
parts.
definitely, it
Uh,
should
I
be.
think I think that's one way to increase unity. The other way to increase unity is by doing what we're doing right now, which is speaking to each other, which I don't think a lot of Kathak dancers. I mean, I'm not saying you guys don't, but I'm talking about a community as a whole. Generally, this community is very scared of talking to each other. We are very scared to say anything to each other because we're scared that we'll upset each other. If I can just tell the viewers, yesterday we had a trial Zoom run where we just to check the technicalities and stuff, and if everybody's Zoom was working. We did disagree
Sorry.
on a lot of things. We disagreed on a lot of things, and we agreed on a lot of things. But that does not mean that all four of us cannot sit and have a civilized conversation. We
Absolutely.
agree to disagree, and we agree to agree also, which is the beauty
This
of
is a
just human
healthy
beings.
Yes.
conversation.
This is a
Yeah,
healthy
Exactly.
definitely,
conversation.
definitely, definitely.
But
Yeah.
I feel, Shondipda, Anurekha Di, and Vidha Didi, that dancers are very scared to speak. And not just dancers, I'll say all artists. Artists in general are just very, very scared to speak, especially if, I mean, if they're my age, so forget it. They're told that, you're too young to speak anyways, you should shut up. But even, yeah,
No,
I
I'm
have been
also
told
very
that.
young. No, I'm also considered as
I
very
mean,
young.
I
I
mean,
just got Bismillah ka Yuva Puraskar, so I'm Yuva. I'm still Yuva.
yeah, I mean, let's talk about
I'm
that
in the
later.
And
that,
I don't
that's
know, I
mad.
don't know, I don't know whether I'm young or not, but now, unfortunately or fortunately,
Mm.
many of like a critic or like the seniors, they are asking me, how old are you? Because like I can recommend your name for Bismillah. I told I crossed many years back. So it's from
Weird.
one side, it's compliment for my look, like
It
to
is a
look like
compliment.
young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I am a Yuva. I am a Yuva. That's what I'm saying. I'm young. Saberi.
So we're all young. We're
We are
all
all
young.
young.
We've
Yes.
established that. But I have a question. When it comes to this age thing, so you've just reminded me, Vidha Didi and Shondipda, very nicely. We're moving on to the next topic. I understand that with maturity and with age, your art form evolves. You as a
Yes.
dancer, you will evolve. Your expressions, especially in dance, because we work with a lot of expression and bhav and emotions, those will also evolve with your age and your maturity.
Yeah.
That I understand, and I agree with that. What I do see a lot of, which I have experienced, or maybe you have also experienced at some point in your dance journey, people really look down on you if you're young, and they really stop you from speaking out, and they stop you from doing what you want. And even if you are correct, you are told that you're too young right now, don't speak. And I'm saying this because it happens to me now. It has been happening, and it continues to happen. And this is one of the reasons I started Cut the Crap, because I speak straightforwardly as much as I can. I'm going to cut the crap and say, of course, everybody has to be diplomatic in their life and in their career. Without that, you cannot go through with your career. It doesn't work to just say whatever comes to your mouth. But mostly, I like to speak my mind. Um, what do you think about that? Why do you think that there is this such disparity between ages, and only when you're 40 people will start taking you seriously in this art form? Even if you're young and you're doing a great job, they'll not take you seriously, or they'll not give you the credit, because they're like, oh, she's too young, or he's too young to get the credit. Why only after you've kind of crossed the age of 35 do you start getting taken seriously? Let's go to Vidha Didi first.
Absolutely, I agree with you because I was also in the same situation a few years back when I was younger. I mean, I'm young now.
Yeah.
And I was criticized of being saying the truth or being what I am, being myself or speaking my heart out. Then I realized that since we are dealing with this classical art form where Guru Shishya Parampara specifically,
Mm,
where we don't even ask the Guru to teach us specific things. We are always been, like you can't even ask your Guru to teach that unless and until that Guru feels teaching you. So we
mm,
are in that tradition where you are not allowed from the day one.
mm.
So you are talking about this in present time because because of globalization and all. Of course,
Right.
you want to talk, you want to speak your heart out, but this is something which is not the part of our classical culture actually.
Mm,
That is why they criticize us. I'm not saying that you're wrong or we are wrong to say, but
mm,
that is why we are not being appreciated. I always say that why the Bollywood artists at the age of 24 get Padma Shri and why not the classical artists? We have
mm,
to be 60 to get a Padma Shri.
mm,
So look at the I mean, look at the time span.
mm.
Why? I mean, who knows who is going to live for 60 years? So if that
Yeah.
person is doing, and what about the child prodigy? There is nothing, that thing, nothing. that doesn't exist in classical world. They still say, no, 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 this person is very young, let them grow. So, exceptions are always there, and I think they should appreciate these, exceptionals where the artist, whether it's a dancer or a musician doing extraordinary, please consider, please encourage them, because being a dancer full time is not an easy job,
No, it's not.
especially for male dancers. I would say, especially for male dancers, it is a very big challenge. They are definitely looked down upon on many, many platforms. I know that.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult. So please appreciate. I would request all the senior gurus and artists to please appreciate those, even the younger person, younger upcoming dancer, whatever they are doing, just please appreciate them. Because whatever they are doing is so good. And that is the answer to your question, that this is because this is a very conservative, orthodox
Culture, just
culture.
generally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Vidadi. That's really good points made. Sandip da.
Yeah, I'm completely agreed with Vidhaji. Yes, from the very beginning, we are in such a atmosphere where we are not supposed to talk. We just supposed to listen and observe the things. And once the time comes, definitely it happens. It becomes a system. Maybe with the time it need to change, but it becomes system, because for my experience, I can share my thing. My guru never stopped me to say something, because she might had that belief on me, yes, whatever he will say, it will be right, appropriate to for the dance. So in that way, like till today, whenever I just think about to do something different, I ask her, my guru
I would just like to interrupt just in one place. I think also you cannot expect that what relationship you will have with your guru, you will have with every other senior person.
Yeah.
I think
no,
there's a very
definitely not.
big difference with
No,
that.
yeah, no, no,
Absolutely.
Like
no,
I
that's
might,
why. No,
yeah, I mean,
somebody, yeah,
I might act some way with my guruma
yeah, yeah,
because
definitely.
I have that
Yes,
relationship with her.
yes, yes,
But I'm
yes.
not gonna shut up if I'm speaking to someone else.
Exactly, because
Like,
freedom of speech
why
is
should
our right. Freedom of
Yeah,
Exactly.
speech
yeah,
is
I mean,
our
why
yeah,
right.
should I?
definitely.
Yeah.
No,
And
no, Saveri,
and what you're
here.
saying, Shondita, is completely correct. Like maybe your guru encourages you to speak. If
And
that's
not
the
only
case,
that, not
then
only that, yeah, so no, Saveri, that's a valid point. For example, you belongs from a family where your grandma is your guru, your
right.
father, and that's why your way of thinking, your knowledge, and that is completely different than us. Like for
Hmm.
me,
Yeah, I
so
understand
it
completely.
it,
Yeah.
it took time, what your guru or your family elders realized through their lifetime. So you, from the very childhood, you got those values and ideas and everything. But for others, so I think that is also a point,
So
valid
it is not
point.
about us, actually. It is not about us, because we all were given that freedom of speech. That's why we are here.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
about the others,
It's
actually.
about those who don't have that. Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
but no, they see, if they start saying proper thing, I think nobody, with the time, definitely, especially for our generation, definitely we will accept, or maybe just our previous generation. But we have to give time with that I feel, that I personally feel, if somebody is saying right, then definitely it's time for us
Hmm.
to rethink ourselves,
Yeah.
whether we are agree with that. If we are agree, definitely we are going to appreciate them,
Hmm.
and we are doing,
But
definitely we
Saveri
are
also,
trying.
I
Sorry,
think
if I can
somewhere
just
it is
hear from
also good.
Anurekha Di as well. Yeah.
Sorry, sorry. Yes, please, please, please. Please,
Sorry,
Anurekha,
sorry.
please.
Yeah, and then we can just have a more
Yeah.
general discussion on it.
Sabria, always I believe that a soloist, a solo dancer, is a manifestation of his or her own personality. So
Absolutely.
that personality is going to only develop when you have your own opinion, your own
Absolutely.
Yeah,
aesthetics.
definitely,
Absolutely.
Now, my education, my schooling, my university has been in England, where always I've been told that you need to speak out and you need to express what you think.
Mm.
So, then coming to the dance education, suppose, I would go to watch a concert and I'll be very scared during my training days. I'll be very scared to express my opinion because I was feeling that, shall I say good, bad, or shall I just say so-so? So, that so was the thing where my guru strictly said that no, you need to say either good or bad. And that's going to carve your own personality when you're going to go on the stage,
Yeah,
because you're going to learn from it.
and I just want to expand on what Anurekha
Yeah.
is saying, because I've again, I grew up in London. I was born in Kolkata, so I'm absolutely Indian from heart. I've grown up in the UK. Um, I came here when I was 5 or 6 years old, and ever since then, I wasn't. My parents used to take me to India twice a year, and that was because my parents wanted me to stay connected to the culture and the roots there. And also my parents gave me a very good atmosphere here and ambience in their classrooms. I used to sit in there, so I have been very privileged in being around that kind of ambience and atmosphere. But I will say one thing, which is, obviously it's a very personal thing, really, person to person, it varies. But I have seen that whenever it's happened with me, Shondipda, coming back to your point, it's not always the case that if you speak correct, that people will let you speak. In fact, I actually think sometimes it's the other way around. Because you're speaking correct, people don't want you to speak. And this is a very big problem in every fraternity, in every sphere of life. But because we're talking about Indian classical music and dance, I'll stick to that. In this fraternity, it's a massive problem. You speak up and you're seen as an arrogant and a very I don't know, kind of too daring of a person, right? Which is wrong. If you're an artist, one of the qualities you need to have, the differentiation that I see between a dancer and an artist, you're a good dancer when you've collected all the qualities that we spoke about, then you're a good dancer. But I think you're a great artist if you are able to affect people's lives with your opinion and with your thought process, and not just with your dance.
Absolutely.
You're dancing brilliantly, your dance is amazing, your lay, your bhau, your everything, whatever, literature, your knowledge on tabla, vocal, everything is great. But you have no opinion. Yeah, your dance will live on till a certain point. But actually, for the wider community, what have you done? What have you given to the next generation? And that's where I think opinion creation is really, really important. And from this, I want to go on to image building. This is a question I ask everyone. I see a lot of artists going into concerts or going into performances, acting something else, and then coming out of that performance and acting completely different. How much is image building important for a career in Indian classical music and dance? And if I'll just explain it further, if at home I'm a very fun-loving, loud girl, I think in our fraternity, if I go to a concert and I'm like, "Hi everyone," and I speak like this, and people will not take me as seriously as if I go to a concert and I sit and I'm always looking at somebody like this, and I'm always talking just very quietly and very sophisticatedly is the new word. Why can a person not be themselves? Why does everybody have to be the same? This is a question that I have. Especially in our generation, I see this a lot. There's a lot of young people who are now already acting like they're 50 years old, which is not necessary. If you're 23 like me, then of course you're going to be a bit quirky and a bit loud. Like, that's okay. I don't.
Maybe, Saberi, maybe just to be allowed them to speak. Maybe for that. You look like matured, like our previous question, like maybe for that, when you look like a matured person, so people will listen to you. Maybe for that.
No, but also, I mean, of course, while the performance is on, I don't think anybody should talk. So that I'm not, completely...
Oh no, I'm not talking about when the performance is on.
Yes.
I'm talking about just generally when you meet somebody in a
concert.
concert.
I am the way I am. I laugh, I scream, people, look and turn around. Who's this? Who's laughing so loud? But this is how I am. So I don't change myself. Why should I change myself for anybody? This is how I am.
Suddenly it's the same thing.
Also, when we met at Kamani, I was laughing only at that time. And this is how I am. I don't think that one should completely change themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
You
can't change
into the classical field. No.
You can't change. You can't change.
And why should you change? If for example, if we watch a concert and really there's something that I would love to appreciate, I go on a very high voice.
Yes.
Saberi, I was sharing some of the dub smash videos. So I got a message personally that you're a Kathak dancer, you're a classical dancer. Why you're doing this? But I
So
am
it's your choice, no?
I
End
am
of the day, it's
somebody,
your choice.
I cannot behave a Kathak dancer 24 hours. I
24/7,
cannot
exactly.
wear
Exactly.
that big kajal and big bindi and pretend all the time that I'm a Kathak dancer. Come on, I'm
This is
somebody
Vidha Didi,
else.
this is exactly what I'm talking about. I think sometimes people forget that we are a human being before we are a Kathak dancer,
Exactly,
and
exactly.
that human to human connection is lost. Like
Yes.
all the
Yes.
time, if I'm meeting you as a human being, I don't always have to be Saberi the Kathak dancer. I can just be Saberi
Exactly.
for once. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that
Exactly.
that thing gets
Exactly.
lost. For example, it's happened to me where I've gone to watch a concert and maybe I haven't worn a sari or I haven't worn a churidar, and because I'm wearing just jeans and a nice t-shirt, people will not take me to bit, Are, you're a Kathak dancer. But I'm like, Are, but
Yeah,
what's your problem? Like, I'm here
exactly.
to watch the dance. Isn't that
So
what
these are the
matters?
stereotypes
Like,
made by whom? We have not
I don't
made these
know. This is the
stereotypes.
point to discuss. Why are these why have these stereotypes been
I
made?
don't know. I
Um,
don't know.
I did another session
Because
with
I
two
don't follow
very
that. Even I don't follow. Even if it is there, I don't follow it.
yeah yeah
You see my pictures. I wear whatever I want to wear. I
yeah
do whatever I want to do. I want to live my personal life as well because that personal life also exists.
yeah, and that's created who you are as well. I think
Exactly.
in a way.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
one should follow your heart's desire. Why
Yeah.
should you
Yes.
change yourself for someone else?
Yeah, that's the valid point. Like if you think like you want to look like a Kathak dancer or an artist all the time, then you can behave like a wearing your churidar or whatever. But if personally you don't think like that is important for you, then definitely you can change. So it's
Mhm.
completely up to you. But like for myself, I can like share because I want to be honest. Really,
Yeah.
previously I was stuck. I was this kind of person like who thinks like without kurta pajama I can't go to a show. Yes, I
Mm.
was that because I used to see everyone like who are artists, they used to come like that. But
Right.
after that, nowadays I have started changing myself because you can ask me why Sandip da you are changing and why you used to do that like that. Because see, for that time I had no background. I am from a non-musical family, though my parents like we have music at home, but not like that. And
Mm.
I had to enter in the fraternity where there is a decorum. I am
Mm.
No, but
explaining my own thing. No, no, just I am explaining. And then I thought I should follow these and these and these. And
Right.
then
Okay.
once I entered, and then I started realizing, yes, I have my life now. My wife, my son, my wife has like she has a big role in this, like changing of my lifestyle and everything. Previously,
Mm.
I never used to wear t-shirt or it's nothing. No, no, no.
That's very
I'm I'm
interesting. Yeah.
I'm confessing. I'm confessing.
No,
But
it's good that you're speaking so honestly. It's a very good
yes,
thing.
but
and Saberi,
after
but
that,
there are things. I mean, of course, whatever Sandeep ji is saying is absolutely right. But going to a concert, whatever you wear, that's up to you.
no,
But there is the other side of the coin. I see practice videos on different
Yeah,
social medias where
huh,
the
that's a
dancers
whole
wearing track pants
huh,
yeah,
and a
huh,
that's
t-shirt,
a whole
Yeah.
different
which
huh,
thing.
is not
huh.
acceptable. Which is not.
Yeah,
Sorry,
That is
that is
not
my
on.
opinion.
huh,
Maybe I'm wrong,
No, no,
but
no,
huh.
Vidha
it
Didi,
doesn't
I
look
think
because it's a classical
where
dance form.
this is where the line needs to be drawn,
Yes,
right?
yes,
What's the
yes.
point of going to a concert wearing Indian clothes and then when you're putting videos, you're not wearing the right clothes?
Track
In
Huh,
dance,
pants,
huh,
yeah,
t-shirts. Oh my
huh.
god.
And
like
now I try
yeah,
to balance. Now I try to balance. I sometimes I go to like not sometimes, most of the time I wear my casual like normal casuals. But when like I feel I should wear a kurta, then I wear that. So
Even if
now
I'm practicing and if I'm not putting my video, I don't put my practice
no,
videos
yes,
ever anywhere. That is something
hmm,
which is
that's
very
that's totally
personal.
personal to you.
Even then I wear my veil, I wear my dupatta. That is how
yes,
it should be. That
yes.
seriousness comes.
That's
Otherwise,
discipline. That's
that is
discipline.
That's
discipline because
discipline. That's
this
a
art form
discipline.
teaches us that yes, exactly. It
Sorry.
teaches us
I
this.
can't even think about like wearing a Bermuda or something like that and tying my ghungru or without ghungru
I
and
can't
all that.
imagine you in a Bermuda.
No, no.
I mean,
What example?
that's a whole different. Maybe Shandip da, we need to see you in a Bermuda once. That needs to happen. But sorry, we've got so much to discuss and not that much time. So I'll move on to some questions. Orunima Shengupta is watching. She asked this long back, but let's address it now. Should riyaz just be restricted to the physical riyaz or something beyond as well? I mean, that's a really massive question.
It's a
There's
a lot to answer.
Vast question.
It's a vast question with several components.
Maybe I'll specify it a little bit for you, and then we can specifically answer. So if, of course, there's the physical riyaz, the kind of draining riyaz that we do, which drains us of our energy and we're sweating and all of that kind of thing. But as soon as you're done with riyaz, do you completely switch off, or are you doing a mental riyaz in your head? The thoughts that come into your mind with your dance, and what would you say to people who are dancing and who want to take this as a full-on profession? Because clearly physical riyaz isn't enough. That's not the only thing that is needed. So if you just want to talk about that, Anurekha, if you want to go first.
I guess, if you're extremely passionate about dance and you are doing physical riyaz, you will be immediately switching off to the mental riyaz, and that will be a part of your life, even though you might not be you might not be consciously doing it, but it's going to linger in your mind. And then coming to the point that at a later stage, as I was mentioning earlier, that once you gain that kind of maturity, when the physical riyaz is definitely important, you then start delving into the other qualities that you need to acquire as a dancer, and especially after 35, you will be doing that. Dance becomes like a 24/7, and it becomes a part of your personal life. Even though, I might be going to a club and dancing, but still Kathak is a part of me, and I cannot ignore that.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Whoever wants to go next. Yes, go ahead.
What Anurekha ji has told is I am completely agree with her. And yes, initially physical riyaz is needed, and finally, like 24/7 it comes automatically. Here, I give one example to my students, like my seniors. Like, see, initially to build up a shod, it takes time. It takes like the fire and like hammering, everything is needed to make to get the shape of a shod. But once the shod is ready, so you just need to use, and then the sharpness will remain. It doesn't take so long time. Like the initial physical riyaz is needed to build up your energy and your speed and everything. And by the time, once it becomes like in use, so it doesn't take, but it takes the mental riyaz.
Right.
Mental riyaz
the thought. Always thinking about dance. Yeah.
And also, Saberi, coming to the fact with Abhinay, how can it be a physical riyaz?
No.
Every day you are going to blossom and you are going to nurture yourself to your destiny, and you are going to acquire the beautiful qualities day by day. So it's like a flower which is going to blossom. So it cannot happen, with just physical riyaz and doing it.
And with the time, with your life experience, it comes.
Like with maturity, with more.
Rightly said, yes.
Yeah, life experience. Like initially, you may imitate to enact the Abhinay, but once you feel the actual the things, then it comes automatically.
Right. Yeah. Vidha Didi, would you like to say anything? Add something?
Of course, because riyaz is, again, it's a very, 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 it gives you a lot of wide space to think. So riyaz is not just the physical riyaz, as we all are saying. But yes, to be in that zone all the time is also a riyaz, to train your mind to be in that zone all the time. Even if I'm driving a car and when I give the indicator, so it gives me that beat, tick, 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 tick. I'm all the time doing the syllables inside me.
Absolutely.
When I'm switching on a microwave, so there is this sound, something, some sa it gives me, and I start singing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, this
that happens
is what I have inculcated in me. So I'm all the time, whether it doesn't have to be a lehra all the time. Anything which gives me a beat. I see the birds chirping in same different, gaps, and within the
Yes.
gap I try to uh, fill
Fit
it
in
with some
syllables or
like
bowls. Yeah.
I am doing it all the time. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
this
more
is the
important.
riyaz to bring yourself into that zone.
Yeah.
Right,
That is
right.
the riyaz actually. Because
Wonderful.
physical riyaz everybody is doing. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to like cram in topics and topics and topics. We've spoken so much and it's gone very quickly. That's the thing. I want to speak about another thing, which I think is one of the most important points. Very quickly though. Why do you believe that? Well, why do you think a lot of tabla players don't want to play with the dance? And I mean tabla players who are playing tabla solo, playing with vocal,
Okay.
playing. I can see all of you going, "Oh, this question again." Yeah, why don't they want to play? And another question with that, because it's both sides. Nothing happens from from only one side. Why don't Kathak dancers, again I'm talking about the whole community, I'm not talking about us, whole community, why do most dancers not want to dance with other tabla players, and they only want to dance with tabla players who they are comfortable with? What is the mentality behind this? Why are we stuck in this whole thing of, we have labeled tabla players who play specifically with tabla and we will only dance with them? And why do tabla players say that I don't want to play with dance because haath kharab ho jayega, ye ho jayega, wo ho
Not
jayega,
only
which is
tabla player, even the singer. हमारे
even the
field में
singers.
singers
but
की
but
बहुत
I,
कमी है. अच्छे singers we don't
but I
have
want to
because
talk specifically about tabla players because I have a lot of tabla player friends.
no. But you should also
So I
talk about the
have,
singers
I
because this
will,
is what
I will.
I face this problem most of the time.
Yeah, we'll go on to vocalists as well. But tell me why I say tabla players is because obviously there's a lot of composition involved in what we do, and a lot of the tabla players feel that a lot of I mean my friends who are tabla players have told me, अरे ये कथक डांसर हमें बोल रहे हैं कि मेरे क्लास में आओ, एक महीने तक मेरे क्लास में आओ, ये बैठो, do the compositions, then you play with me.
No,
अब
but
he's like,
Saberi, एक चीज और
yeah,
I would like to mention.
please
जो
do.
जो ये कहते हैं एक महीने तक आओ, don't they charge for that session? They do. They're not going there for free also. I don't think so. Every musician who goes for a session charges that session's
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
So they
I
can't
mean, I
crib.
agree
They
with
can't
that.
crib. They can't crib. So they can
Ah,
simply say that I don't have time. So this is the time. This is the these are the rehearsals I can give. But even then, they are getting paid even for that. So what is the problem?
I
See,
and
that
think
is the
I think
here,
mindset.
here
yeah,
I want to
yeah,
mention
please,
one thing. Like,
please do.
see, like for the vocal or instrumental music, like a tabla player, he or she may not coming to you, but they are used to they go to some like stalwarts or some seniors place to accompany, how to accompany. But when they are coming to like accompany with a dance, they think they can.
Yeah.
That is problem.
First of
So
all,
if
Also, they
there's
look
a lot
down
of
upon.
yeah,
They
if
look
they
down upon to
yes,
be
I agree
accompanied
with
with a
that.
Kathak dance.
I agree with that.
if
Yeah.
they
there's a
are
lot
if
of hesitation amongst tabla players to play for Kathak, especially the ones who are playing with instrument and who are playing with vocal or tabla solo.
see,
They
so
simply refuse to play for Kathak.
I
I have a
think
logic. I have a logic for why that is, but we'll listen to
Yeah.
Sondipda first.
yeah,
Yeah,
So,
I think it's from the both way it should come. Like a
yeah.
one dancer should have the knowledge or the practice to practice with a tabla player, not only who is playing with dance only. The
Mm.
the
And
tabla
also, the
player,
dancers should not
yeah.
bombard it with their own compositions
That
to the tabla player. Try
I'm
and do
coming.
their
Yeah,
compositions
exactly.
also.
I'm trying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come to that point. Like
Yeah.
dancers also need to go like a lapet. Like the tabla player will play upaj or lapet ank, and then you can dance with them. So you
Oh,
have to have the
that's my favorite topic, upaj.
yeah. So,
Mm.
so that
We'll
see.
talk about that.
So
Yeah.
that also a dancer need to go through.
Yes, I mean,
And same thing for the tabla player who is for example, if somebody as a tabla player, he is like playing with vidhaji in a regular, not in a regular basis, he is playing with an instrumentalist or in a vocalist. At the same time he comes and play with vidhaji, so he has an idea how to play during that or gat or like some composition. Then if I am coming on stage, I have no
yeah.
issue to
And
like perform
But
with
Sandip
that
ji,
person.
you saw me perform in Kolkata with none of our musicians.
No, that's why I'm telling. Like they should
We
be
booked
used
the
to
musicians
know.
and
I would refrain from talking about ourselves. Why I will say that
okay.
is because I'll tell you why, right? I mean, it's very easy to think that because I'm doing it, everybody else is doing it, and that's not
No,
the case.
no,
That is not the case with this
no.
community. It might
Yeah.
sound very arrogant, but it doesn't happen in
No, sir.
our Kathak community. There are very few Kathak dancers who have the
Yes.
confidence to go on stage, and I'm saying this because this is cut the crap, and
Mm.
I don't want to just
No, you're
sugarcoat things.
absolutely
No,
right.
There
you're
are very few
Absolutely right.
Kathak dancers that can go on stage with any tabla player with
Yeah.
only one rehearsal. Fine, forget
No,
no rehearsal.
no,
With even
Saberi.
just one rehearsal and say, fine, I have confidence in my talim, in what I am doing, and I will take up the challenge and I'll do it.
No,
This
Yes,
is where I
you're
Saberi.
think this
talking
is this
about
is the
tabla.
problem.
Their entire show is designed.
Design.
Even the
Yeah,
pauses are
yeah,
designed.
yeah.
So just
And
forget about that.
Saberi, like
Yes.
that's my point. Like it's from the both way, from the dancer and the tabla player. Like the
I
previous
agree.
practice, like a tabla player, if he just learned tabla, kada, rela, and chakradar, he can't accompany in a vocal music. So to accompany in a vocal music, he need to learn how to play, how to accompany with the vocal music, and with the instrument, and they are
But
not doing
yeah.
who know that
Yeah.
they can play, and we can go
Sandeep
straight
da,
away.
I just want to share one story with all of you because my father, Pandit Rajkumar Misra, has played with dance for years and years and years because our family is a family of
Yeah.
dancers.
Dancers.
He told me one experience, and this is very sad, right? Because we are from a dance family, and it's so sad to hear negative things about dancers. None of us like that. But
Yeah.
my father has told me this. He has played with many dancers, and he used to go to sit with dancers to rehearse with them. And sometimes, obviously, with tabla players, everything you cannot play technically. If the ball is digga 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 digga, in that speed, you can't always play dhite 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 dhite. You cannot. You have to
You have
just
to
go
play
with the
lapeta or
chand.
Adapt
something.
it.
Lapeta, exactly. You have to
Yeah.
go with the chand and the groove of that composition.
Absolutely.
But there are some dancers who would tell him, and he told me this, that they would say, "नहीं नहीं नहीं, यहाँ पे ये बजाओ, ये नहीं बजाओगे तो नहीं चलेगा." Ab, you are instantly scaring the tabla player away.
Yeah,
They're
no,
gonna be like, "Arey,
that's the
I have
thing
no creativity." So
Exactly. It
I'm
is
talking for the tabla players now.
for the
For
even
tabla player.
Saberi.
And
I mean,
no,
I'm coming back to the vocal. Even if their bhav paksha, even a singer sings 2 lines extra, the dancer would look as if he or she is going to
yes,
kill that
yes,
singer.
yes,
Just
There's
that person
such
sang 2 lines
restriction,
extra.
Vidhaji.
and
There's such restriction that dancers carry, and
Exactly.
Kathak, right from our childhood, I think I'm sure Sandeep ji and Vidhaji will agree that we have seen the khula nach.
Yes.
Remembering some of the legends that we have seen them going on the stage for 2 hours or
This is
maybe
the
more.
essence of Kathak. Actually, this
is
is such a
that
That is that
but
the
at that
spontaneity.
point,
उन्होंने कहा थी अब कौन देगा हमें 2 घंटा नाचने के लिए?
नहीं,
Who's
that's
going
so
to
बिल्कुल,
different.
but
कोई
वो
नहीं
2
देगा,
घंटा
कोई नहीं
नहीं
देगा.
चाहिए.
Yeah.
At least
even if
if
I
you're
can,
going, yeah.
even if
No,
I can, forget about you guys. Even if I say that I want to perform 1 hour, who is going to look at me and say, "Okay, Kathak, let's give her 1.5 hours to dance"?
no,
There
no,
is
No,
no.
hardly any
Sabri,
And
other
no,
what I'm trying to
no,
say that even if you get a 20-minute, why do you totally design the show? Why don't you have the confidence? You might have a structure in your mind, but go on the stage and respond and react to
because
the
Anurekha di,
musicians, to the
I believe I'm going to
Sab-
come back to what Vidha Didi said. There's very less respect for dancers.
Yes.
Dancers are looked down on, and I really
yeah,
want to understand why that is.
Even now, I mean, if
yeah.
I compare myself with my sister, so one of my sisters is a TV news broadcaster and the other one is an advocate. So people in my family, in my father's and parents' side, they would say, "Oh, aap dancer ban gaye? Oh, ho. Matlab, they feel so sorry that why I became a dancer. I mean, मुझे भी कुछ engineering या ऐसा कुछ करना चाहिए था. So still, that state of, people still
Yeah.
think
Keep
that
your
I'm
quiet.
struggling and this is
But
such a
Vidha Didi,
bad profession.
I'm not just talking about people who don't know anything about. I'm talking about musicians. I'm
musicians.
talking about musicians who look down on dancers.
yeah.
Yes,
And
Yeah.
that
that
is
is
the
the
Yeah.
saddest
pity.
thing.
That is the pity.
That is
I
the
mean, yesterday
saddest thing
also I
ever.
shared one of the incidences that where I was in the audience and one of the musicians who performed and said, अब मेरे बाद आप लोग please बैठ के देख लेगा कुछ कथक वथक भी होने वाला है.
My God.
My
And that
God,
is like
I couldn't take that.
yesterday I was sharing, no, in that way, I am really fortunate because many followers,
He's
the
always
tabla
been
players,
fortunate. Sandeep
yeah,
ji.
Sandeep
because
ji
you
is the
see,
luckiest.
no, like my senior tabla players, they played with me, and at the same time, Anurekha, Saberi, you might know, like many of our generation tabla players who are not only tabla player for Kathak, they are quite for known for their solo or accompanying instrumental and vocal. So I have so many, and my seniors as well. So in that way, I can mention, can I mention the names of you, or no, we are not supposed to?
No, no.
Oh,
But
Okay.
Sandeep ji, I'm sure you will also agree that most of our friends are musician friends.
Yes.
yeah,
But we
yeah,
had
yeah,
to gain that kind of
yeah,
relationship and respect
relationship.
from
Yeah,
them, and
it's
that
from
is
the both.
only through the passion, through the talim, through sharing.
Yes,
That's
And
how we have
also,
been
I would
able
like
yes,
to
to
develop.
bring this thing also, Saberi, that maybe a person, a tabla player is extraordinarily good playing with or accompanying with other instruments, or maybe tabla solo. But to play with the dance is another chapter, is another
A whole
subject.
different
yes.
subject.
That's
It's
why.
Yeah,
so that's
Init-
why maybe they are. I mean, they don't step and they just start, very easily to just get away with
I
that. They just say,
completely
"Oh, hum
agree
need
with that.
karte hai
I
dance,"
would
yeah,
just
yeah,
like to say
because it's completely a different subject altogether. To play with dance, it's not easy.
my friend Dhanraj, who is here, he's one of my best friends, and he lives here in London, and he's also a senior student of my father. He's been learning from my dad for many years. Shondip da, you met Dhanraj when you were here,
yes, yes,
and so did Abhimanyu Bhaiya actually when he was here. Dhanraj is also a very big part of Sadha Arts. But Dhanraj here writes a very, I mean, because Dhanraj and I speak about this a lot, and he's written here exactly what Vidha Didi just said. A tabla player's shortcomings can be exposed very easily whilst performing with dance. A
yes,
lot of the time, it boils down to that insecurity. I
yeah,
just want to say I want to say
yeah,
two things just related to that. Firstly, I agree with what Dhanraj is saying. A lot of tabla players don't want to perform with dance. Like Vidha Didi said, it's a whole different subject.
yes,
You have to completely culture with that in a whole different way. You have to study that in a whole different way.
yeah,
Yes.
But I will just to end this question, because we need to move on to something else. I would just like to end this by saying it comes from both ends. There are lots
mm,
of dancers who are not confident in their own
yes,
talim, who are not confident in their own lay tal,
Absolutely.
who are not confident in their own abhinaya, to be able to perform with any artist that they are given. First of all,
yeah,
before going into the faults of tabla players, I think we need to look at our own faults
yes, yes,
and
yes,
figure out what we are doing wrong. Because if I am
absolutely.
not confident enough to go on stage and do a dhalang with a new tabla player, then there's something wrong with me. If I
yeah,
know that composition properly, I
yeah,
should be able to do it just on tali even. I
yes,
shouldn't
yes,
even need the tabla
yes,
player. First. Second of all,
Exactly.
on talking against tabla player, not against, but I'm just pointing out things that I feel need working out. Tabla players of my generation, even my friends, my fellow tabla players, I agree that maybe a lot of Kathak dancers don't want to work with new tabla players, but neither do tabla players. Tabla players also don't want to work with dancers, and that's
yeah,
the reality of it. You need to open your mind. You need to
Yes,
educate yourself about Kathak, about all other Indian classical dance forms, but Kathak specifically because Kathak needs tabla. We work with
yes,
tabla on a regular basis. We
yes,
cannot do without you, but you also, if you expect to play with us, you also
But
need to invest
sometimes
some
also,
time in us.
Saberi,
Yeah.
when a good tabla player is accompanying the dancer, they take,
Hmm.
half an hour for the tabla solo just in the beginning. What is
Udhan
that?
बजाने के लिए, हाँ.
I don't like that.
and also
Exactly.
Vidhaji, in
That time
between
is
there's
given. That time is given to a dancer. Please respect that.
Yeah, and they would
Whatever
never
you
do
are
that with the
playing.
instrumentalist.
No,
They don't
never,
do it.
never. वो तो आंख
Why
दिखा
do
देगी
it with
उसके बाद
us?
दूसरा concert नहीं मिलेगा.
वही तो.
and
So
also the fact that कि आपने एक composition लगाया तुरंत उनको भी एक composition बजाना है
Yes,
तो
they take it to
ऐसे
the
तो
heart.
time
They take it to
exactly
the heart.
and you
वैसे
are
ही टाइम नहीं
standing
मिलता
there
हमें.
for the next 10 minutes
वैसे ही हमें टाइम तो मिलता नहीं है.
time नहीं मिलता है
Time नहीं मिलता है. We're Kathak dancers. Vocalists will get 1 hour. Instrumentalists will get 45 minutes, 1 hour. We will
Yes.
get 20
कथक
minutes.
आप ना 15 मिनट में खत्म
आप
कर
ना
दीजिए, मतलब
15 मिनट में
20
कर
मिनट्स देते
लीजिए, हो
हैं,
जाएगा.
पर
अरे
ग्रीन रूम में आके बोलते हैं प्लीज 15 मिनट में खत्म कीजिएगा, और उसके
Absolutely.
बाद क्रिटिक्स लिखते हैं कि इनके परफॉर्मेंस में ये नहीं था, वो नहीं था, यहाँ नहीं था,
कैसे
वहां नहीं
होगा?
था,
टाइम
कैसे
ही
हो
नहीं
सकता
दिया.
है. एग्जैक्टली,
Yeah.
एब्सोल्युटली.
And sorry, just to finish this off very quickly. Oh wow, we've gone over 1 hour. But I want to talk about upaj because this is something I passionately believe. And I think all three of you do too. Upaj these days is being marketed as upaj, but is not upaj, if that makes sense. So people are saying, "Ab main upaj prastut karne wali hu," and then they
या
go
करने
and they
वाला
start
हूँ.
doing "Ya karne wala hu," and the tabla player will play point to point exactly what that dancer is doing. How is that upaj, first of all? Second of all, why is the definition of upaj not clear to people yet? And why is it that dancers get away with it so easily? Because I have seen people being like, "Arey, dekho kitna achha improvisation kar rahe hain," but the tabla player is going with them beat by beat. Why is this happening? Why do you think there is such lack of
Saberi,
upaj these days?
upaj is something which a guru can't teach you.
Right.
So first of all, this is something which not everybody can learn. So upaj is restricted.
Mm.
This is what I feel. You cannot teach how to cut the rhythm, how to make the patterns. So this is something which is only a person who's very extremely good in lay can attempt. So of course, what you're saying that if they are doing a beat to beat upper, they should say that this is a well rehearsed ladi or a chalan or a palta which I'm going to attempt.
Be
So of
honest
course they
about
should
it.
not say yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why, like, when my student ask me to teach upaj, I say, like, no, I can't teach upaj because upaj means improvisation. So if you are asking me to create some upaj, I may create, but once I will create the thing, it will not be upaj.
No,
Upaj
but we
anymore.
can
It's
also we can also
upajang.
give them example that
Yeah,
how to create
yeah,
upaj, but we
yeah.
cannot get into
And
their mind and tell them.
and then I try to give the reference, like, you may say it's upaj ang, not upaj. Upaj ang means like how it is coming from different like matras or something like that. Upaj ang, not upaj. Because when I am creating, it's upaj for me. But when you are doing it, it's not upaj for you because you are following my
Yes,
upaj.
exactly,
So
absolutely.
I give reference of like if, because upaj you can't just ignore upaj for today's like time because it's very into our repertoire. So
Very important part of it.
But I guess Sandip ji, Vidha ji, Saberi, that it's best to be clear that whether you are doing the real upaj or it's more of a rehearsed
That's
sampe
my
aane
point.
ka andaz.
That's my point.
Absolutely.
some
That's what I'm
Say
saying.
that, but don't say upaj. If you are saying upaj, then you are expected to
People
do.
are dancing Bollywood and saying it Kathak. You're talking about upaj.
Oh, it's a massive thing.
And
Today
upaj,
only,
as you,
I saw,
Vidha ji, Sandip ji, Saberi, you have said that upaj is something, it's a trial and error process. It comes, it doesn't come, it doesn't matter, but you still keep exploring it.
today only,
Absolutely. That is the
Vidha
churning
Didi,
of your whole journey, churning your own.
Anurekha Didi, today only on Instagram, I saw I don't know, Kathak dancer,
some video.
Kathak influencer, I don't know what to say, somebody doing a live interview and then talking about Kathak and the journey of Kathak and then dancing to uh, which song? Either Ghar More
Bollywood
Pardesiya
movies,
or some
Bollywood
Bollywood
song.
song. They did a whole live about Kathak. Did a whole live talk like this. ठीक है,
No, but they
मतलब
are
ये सब बात
actually
करके इसके बाद at the end of it I am dancing to Ghar More Pardesiya.
no.
So
But
what is the point of this
why
conversation?
senior gurus don't intervene in between? Why should we are talking this? Why
I don't
shouldn't
know.
these? Because ऐसा नहीं है कि senior gurus are not there on Instagram or on Facebook. They're very much there
very
and they're
much
very much
active.
aware of what is happening.
They see
Why they're not
everything.
taking? Why they're not talking to them or just keeping a check like a police? We also need a Kathak police.
I mean, to be honest, to keep a purity of any art form, you do need some people to speak out and say that this is wrong, this is
And
right.
why we should
You need
always
that.
wait the critics to talk about it? Why not the seniors? Why not the gurus come up and talk about it? Why not? Why they are scared of? I mean,
Vidha Didi,
they're scared of what?
I'm speaking. The fact that I am doing this show, and I have called you three, and you've very gracefully agreed to come and speak about these things so openly. This in itself is a great thing, but there are very few people who would come here and speak so openly. There's very few people. And I am saying this because I have seen, as soon as you say something openly, people want to run away from you, because they're like, what if I associate myself with this person, they'll say something and then I'll have to be a part of it, and it goes, it's a whole different thing. At
But
least
we are
this
not
is what
talking
I've
anything
realized.
wrong. We are not talking
No.
No,
anything
but this
wrong
is
here.
what nobody's talking anything wrong. But in
Exactly.
in this fraternity, you say anything,
No.
and anything is considered controversial, which
Because
is
ये
stupid.
Kathak के लिए बहुत खराब है, because the lay audience who watch these kind of videos, for them this is Kathak.
No.
You know, many people would, you know, when I was learning dance, I mean, in my student times, people would come and ask me, तुम कथक सीख रही हो तो तुम boogie woogie में तो जरूर गई होगी. I said, what? Why should I go to boogie woogie? So you know that lay thinking.
Boogie woogie.
The very famous.
Out of all the dance reality shows, boogie woogie.
Boogie woogie. Exactly.
That time, actually, that became the first of like a famous dance
Yeah,
reality
it was massive on
No,
Sony TV.
but if
right?
you're seen on you know, shows like these, that means you are somebody. So that is the you know, even in our
Today's
fraternity,
time also.
they
Today's
do
time also.
just
I
to
know.
get some
It's mad.
And also, I guess another question we are often being asked that have you performed in films?
yes, absolutely,
Yeah,
or choreographed, both.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's like a criteria for you to become, like, if you are famous or you're not.
That's I mean, again, these topics are so
I'm not famous. I don't
vast.
have a blue tick in my Instagram yet.
Yeah, none of us do. We're also useless, no blue ticks, nothing, and we're
Yeah,
still
we
talking.
are-
Imagine.
Still, yeah.
I am just there. My account is there, but I am very inactive over
Oh,
there.
somebody has asked a very good question. Devina Dutt has asked, what is the ideal length of a dance performance that you would like if you are a solo artist for the evening, and if you are
1
one
hour.
of two artists for an evening? What is the minimum that we should get? Let's talk about that.
I think only 2 artists should be there in the evening. Sorry, I've just started myself. Sorry, without
Yeah.
asking.
No, please.
2 artists, not even 3 artists, and each artist should be given at least 1 to 1 hour 15 minutes. That is very, very fair time, I guess.
Yeah, completely agree with that.
Same, absolutely agree with Vidhaji that 1 hour is the minimum
Minimum.
for us to show anything, and 1 hour 15 allows the musicians as well for them to show something.
Absolutely. Then it's a whole collaboration of artists coming together. I want to talk about one last thing, and then we're going to say bye to everyone. People have been really watching and leaving lots of comments, but I'm really sorry to everyone. I haven't been able to answer everybody's questions or address it. Please, after this live, all of you, please go through the comments, and if you want to answer anything, please do. It's just that, you know, I don't want to lengthen the conversation to the place where people get bored. I'd rather leave them thinking they wanted more than them get bored with our conversation. But last thing I want to speak about is publicity. And how publicity happens of dance concerts. There are still Kathak dance concerts happening, publicity happening, where the Kathak dancer's photo is there and none of the accompanying artists' photos are there. And I think this is incredibly unfair at this stage in time. We are not in those times anymore. We are at a time where we don't even need to come out with one poster. You could be posting several posts on social media, separately for accompanying artists, separately for main artists. There's no excuse now not to have accompanying artists' names or pictures. I really want to ask you guys one thing. If an organizer approaches you for a concert, I'm asking all three of you, and you agree to perform for them, you give them your accompanying artist names, they come out with a poster where, you know, I'm talking about myself, Saberi Misra's photo is this big with Saberi Misra's name and everything, and there's no name or photo of your accompanying artists. Would you stand up for your accompanying artists and tell the organizer to put their names and to put their photos? And why do you think that's important?
Shall I start?
Whoever, Sandip and Anurekha Ji, so decide.
Anurekha, you start.
Okay.
You start.
Saberi, always, you know, as I said earlier, that most of my friends are musicians. I never considered dance to be anything different from music. So we are a team. So if an organizer would ask me or would not put the names of the accompanist or the pictures of the accompanist, I definitely stand by my musicians, and I will ask the organizers to recreate the posters and post it. Otherwise, I'm not performing.
Have you experienced? Sorry,
Yes,
just
I have experienced it.
another added question that Shondip, that you can also address. Have you ever faced a situation where you have stood up for a tabla player or a fellow vocalist, and the organizer has said, "No, we can't do it for this reason," and then the tabla player or the vocalist has said, "Arey, I'm okay with it. Don't worry about it." Do you see what I mean? That the vocalist and
Yes,
the tabla
yes.
player has no respect for themselves only. You have stood up for them, but they have no.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes, I have both experience. Like once, like some my musicians, some of the musicians, like they told, oh, okay, it's okay. Like when I am talking up for them, and they are saying, oh, it's okay. But at the same time, like very recently, maybe 2-3 years back, I'm not mentioning the name of the festival. It's a very like a famous and national festival, international festival, dance festival, where like I have been called in the morning, like I
Let's
will
guess
have
the
some.
names.
Huh?
Let's guess the name of the organization in our heads. I'll ask you later after this.
Yeah. Like they called me like today morning, like when you are having a stage rehearsal, we'll have a like a interview of your
Right.
for the TV channel. And
Right.
then I thought like and we are very like interested, and we had a very good team, it's a team. We like, as Anurekha told, like it's not like dancer or musician, it's a teamwork. And so we
Absolutely.
all
But
went and
Saberi, I would also like to mention and bring that thing out, that why the dancers don't give the name of the musicians, because I have had this experience like n number of times when my musicians say no at last minute. They don't go with me, and
Really?
that's how I struggle. Yes, many a times. And those
Why?
who are
And what is the
watching, they
reason
must be
for that?
knowing. Just मेरा
oh,
गला खराब हो गया. Yeah, I'm getting a better show where I'm getting more paid for.
that's good.
Wow.
So that is
That
the,
yes,
yes.
yes, yes,
We
yes,
have
Really?
had these
yes.
experiences. So
Yeah.
why should
This
I
is
give my
mad.
musician's
Uh,
name? Because even at the last minute, I'm not sure who's going to play with me. There are cases
That
where
is
I have
mad
lost
sad.
so much of money in cancellation and
So
rebooking the
they
tickets.
have said yes to you, and then in last minute they've said मैं नहीं आ
Last,
रहा.
yes, many a
This is
experience.
times,
crazy.
many a time, especially
Experience.
Delhi. I'm sorry, but especially Delhi
Yeah.
musicians.
I
No, no.
had a
I'm
very bad
sorry.
experience with a Delhi
No.
musician. I'll tell you maybe later.
I have all this experience.
Yeah.
So
I have
see,
all
that
these
is why
all these
dancers
experience.
don't give names to
But
to the
no,
organizers.
I am
So please don't feel bad about it.
yeah.
Mm.
Even
Yeah.
even if they don't put their names or their pictures, I personally make my own collage where I give credit. I make, I put their pictures and give credit to
This is
them.
what I'm talking about.
Ah,
You're
yeah,
taking your own initiative.
yeah,
This is the most important thing.
yeah,
Even if
yeah.
the organizer isn't
Exactly.
doing it, you as
No.
an
We always
artist
do.
should
We
be.
always do.
And
We
Sorry,
always
Shondip,
do.
carry on with what you were saying.
yeah. So in the morning, we went to the venue and well dressed, and then the camera person and the officials, they are saying no. They're like leave your musicians. We just want your interview. And I become so awkward for them. And then I told no, we will be there, like because it's a teamwork. And then what I did there, I told, okay, they will not say a single word, but they will stand within the frame, within your camera frame. So as we are a team, and then I will answer to your question. But at the same time, I will connect with them. I did
Mm.
that. I did
Right.
that. So
Yeah.
so that I try to balance with his point and with our points.
And
Like
just there's one question that has come in related to this topic, so I'll take it. Again, it's Devina Dachi. She's writing, what if photos of co-artists are not of a good quality? I'm sorry to say, very often we are sent such terrible low resolution images, even after asking for them repeatedly from even the main artists sometimes. We now do photo shoots because most musicians do not have a good set of photos with them either. Can I just answer this from my
Even
point
I
of
would
view
like to answer,
once?
photo shoot costs
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Yeah, I'll
HD
come to you, Vidha Didi.
pictures.
I just want to answer one thing.
yeah.
Above everything, and I believe this as an artist, I don't know about the three of you. Above everything, respect is the first and foremost thing.
Absolutely.
In our
Yeah,
art form, whatever
absolutely.
work we do, whenever we go on stage, respect is the first and foremost thing. Yes, quality of the picture matters. Of course it does. And we should try and get good quality photos now if we can. But I think respect is the most important thing. without giving respect to someone, I cannot think about the quality of a photo, or how good I'm looking on a poster. There's no point. And what Vidha Didi was saying, Vidha Didi is going to carry on with that, because I agree with that point also. But
Yeah,
Vidha Didi,
exactly. Not
please.
because when we are talking about this field, not every artist is rich. I mean, and here we are talking about accompanying artists, right?
Yeah.
And every
Also
photo shoot. I
dance
mean, if we
accompanying artists.
yes,
Very
exactly,
important. Yeah.
very important. So, and HD pictures. Please go and ask a very good. I mean, any photographer, those who click HD pictures, how much do they charge for a photo shoot? And out of that, how many pictures are they going to give you? It costs a lot of money. So
So
that is
Devina
why
ji
they
is
are
saying that they
low,
do the
low,
photo
low
shoots.
resolution.
Devina ji is saying that she's written here, we do the photo shoots at our cost, Vidhaji, never charged an artist for a shoot. Devina, I just like to say that maybe
No, but
you
that is
don't.
you are doing it. But what
Maybe
about
when they're
others?
performing for you, you're not charging them, but they also perform for other people, right?
Yes,
So
exactly, exactly.
I know accompanying artists who accompany dance on a regular basis and do not have the means to do a photo shoot. They don't have that money, and they don't have that and that's a
Saberi,
very sad reality.
in
Anurekha ji,
Calcutta, we
yes.
have a group of professional photographers who
Mm,
have been going to each and every concerts.
mm,
There's been two person, I wouldn't like to mention the name, but they have been going to each and every concert for the past 20 years. And
yes.
they've been taking photographs of the musicians, dancers, and they have them in their archives. So it's the musicians, they have to go and ask them, and they'll perhaps give them at a nominal price.
Mm,
So it's also a thinking on their part as well. If they are in the profession, then slowly and gradually they have to develop the professional side of it as well.
mm, mm.
But that's what they, because they think that they are the accompanying artist. So why should they take that much pain? Maybe that's why they are not doing it.
I mean, it's a whole thing of it's a
Understanding
whole
and
Yeah.
understanding and creating that own sensitivity. I think
yes.
what Devina ji is saying again, and our photos are also used by the name, the same artist for other programs, and we are fine with that. And we don't even get photo credits with, well, if that's what you're doing, then that's great. Then maybe other
That's
people need to
great.
do that.
Yeah, exactly. I
Then
would like
maybe
to
other people also
congratulate you
need to
and
do
thank
that.
you so much
Yes,
for
yes.
doing
If
that much
that's
for
what
the
you're doing,
Yeah,
artist. You're
then that's
yeah,
thinking
great.
so much for the artist. Really,
yeah.
kudos.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah.
Definitely
Then definitely
from each
people.
of us.
Yeah,
From each of us.
but I think that above all, above everything, the main thing is to respect the artist, whoever's performing with us, whether
Yeah.
they have good photos or not.
Yeah.
If
The
Art matters.
above
Yeah, yeah.
aesthetics, about aesthetics, it matters above the aesthetics of a poster at the end of the day. um,
exactly.
I think putting their name, because what they're going to do on stage is way more important than whether their photo is
Yeah.
good quality or bad
Starring
quality.
or yeah.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I want a great person, keeping lehra for me, who's supporting me for that 20 minutes or 1 hour or 3 hours. They're going to be doing that for me, and that's a massive thing. I will not be on stage without them. So
Yes.
it is my duty and it is my sensitivity to be able to put their names on my poster
Yes.
or their
Yes.
photos
Yeah.
on my poster.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
thank you so much. I would love to carry on with this conversation, but I feel that some things should be left for next time. And there are loads of, let me just read some nice comments that have come in. There's so many people who have commented. I mean, I'm just scrolling and scrolling. Lots of people have been watching. Lots of people have sent their regards to all three of you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
let me just read a few things that is. So there's a lot of questions coming in about gharana as well. So why don't we just address a gharana question last? Because this is a good
I don't
question
like
to
this
address.
question at
No, the
all.
question is very simple. Is how much do we need to stay in the box of a gharana? And how important is it? Or is it important at all? Very, like, one line from each of you.
For
Okay, so
me,
let's start
Kathak
with Vedaditi.
is
Yes.
either a good Kathak or a bad Kathak. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I don't believe in that.
Now I think we are living in that age, like where our seniors and our pathfinders are saying that, like what Vidhaji has told, like either good or not. I would not say bad, like good Kathak or not so good.
Mm.
It's
That is
like
that
that.
only.
And whether it's Kathak or not.
Yes.
And whether these days
no,
this is also a thing.
no. That shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. Like
Yeah.
we can't agree, like which is not in the repertoire of Kathak, said by our gurus and like the tradition. like whichever gharana it is, it doesn't matter. But the repertoire or the things like what a dance performance should be considered as Kathak dance, that should be maintained.
And also give credit to the gurus, I mean, whose compositions you are doing. Just give credit.
Yes, this is a massive thing. Anurekha, did you want to say something?
What I believe is if I like a composition, whether it's from Lucknow Gharana, Jaipur Gharana, Banaras Gharana,
it doesn't
matter to me.
It doesn't
I
matter.
like
Definitely.
it, I get inspired, I do it, or I appreciate it.
And we give credit to the person who has come up with that composition.
Absolutely.
And
even like sometimes, you know, I take a lot of things from tabla players. So I like to credit them on stage that it is composed by him or her.
This is also a part of discipline of a Kathak dancer.
I give
credit to those who have come up with these.
Even if I am like creating any composition, but inspired by some composition, I give the reference of that composition, original composition as well. Like from which composition I have been inspired.
You have created that.
This.
Yeah.
Yes. So I give that.
Thank you very much. I just want to address, this is not a question, it's a comment. Ashok Jain ji writes, why the Kathak community is so claustrophobic? I genuinely wish this younger generation of teachers or gurus change it and make it more open and accessible to coming generations. Ashok ji, first of all, thank you for watching. There's only one thing I would say, that what we're doing right now,
this is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about, us discussing. We agree, we disagree on some things, but the main thing is that we're all four of us are sitting and discussing Kathak, and we're discussing music and dance, which is the most important thing. We all come from very different
I think it's not only Kathak, it's the entire classical dance community which is claustrophobic.
Music. Absolutely. It's the music community also, actually. There's a lot of, maybe it's more polished claustrophobia, but it exists. So you know, claustrophobia is everywhere, but this is what we're working towards: speaking to each other, communicating, disagreeing and agreeing, and learning to move on and evolve, and hopefully improve a few things. This conversation, and I keep saying this at the end of my sessions, just 1.5 hour conversation isn't going to change the scene, but this is the beginning of a conversation. This is the beginning of a change. So for all those people who keep telling me, are you going to change everything yourself? Yes, I am. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, you know, cut the crap. Don't tell me that all the time. I am going to change it. At least I'm trying. And if you're not, then you should be too. So that's that. And thank you all for being here. It was wonderful having this conversation.
Thank you.
And,
thank you so much, Saberi.
Thank you.
And our viewers.
Anurekha ji and Sandip ji.
Thank you, Vidha ji.
And if you want to know more about dance and you don't know a lot about dance, then go and follow these wonderful dancers. They're wonderful and they're doing wonderful things for the dance community and for Kathak. Please go and follow them and watch their work and watch work of dancers in general. And I think musicians need to take this away with them. And dancers, if you're watching, then go and watch music and go and listen to music, because that's also important. So thank you for being here and joining us. The next session is on the 8th. Today's the 6th, isn't it? Yeah. So on the 8th, and I'm sitting down with Alam Khan on that day to discuss a very different discussion, actually. So that'll be very interesting because he's based in America. So we're going to have a good mutual conversation about how it is to grow up abroad and keep this discipline going of Indian classical music and dance. So join me on the 8th. And thank you once again to all three of you. And I'll see all of you later. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar.